Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Welcome. We are live. It is Tuesday. We are comics. We are solving problems. We are bringing the shizzle to the shiz bang with the woo bop and the dibbity dop.
It's going so well. It was brilliant. And then all of a sudden it turned into a 1950s kind of hip to the groove, daddy-o.
Woo, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. It's a Tuesday. It is Christmas time. Look at that. Merry Christmas, Steve. Got the Christmas mugs out.
Merry Christmas. Ooh. Wow, you're like Starbucks. You've got your Christmas drinks right there. It is.
I'm ready for it. So yeah, we are coming into the end of 2020, which has been a problem-free year. And by problem-free year, I mean it's been a shitstorm of problems. But that's why we are here as comics who solve problems. And that's what we're going to do over the next half hour. Before we settle into that, though, please, if you're watching this on social media, which I think is pretty much the only place you could watch it, subscribe to the channel. We're on the YouTube. You can tick the little bell thing on the YouTube. You can share it if you're on Facebook so other people are watching. You can retweet us if you're on Twitter. And if you've illegally downloaded us on the dark web, well played.
It's
You've
not
just stolen
illegal,
a free
though.
Show.
The BitTorrents of this show are available, but they're not illegal. It's legal.
It's still weird. Anyway, so throughout the show, we're going to be in the comments. The best comment place to be is on the YouTube channel, which Steve just showed you there. So join us in that. We'll go through some problems. We'll chat to you. We'll have some fun. If at any point you are enjoying yourselves and you feel so inspired, or if you just feel sorry for us, because you know what, I've got this Christmas mug, but it's empty.
Oh, gets you right there, doesn't it? You don't know what I'm pointing at.
Right there. So you can buy us a drink throughout the show if you want. And that's the business side of it, Steve. You're a comic. Solve a problem.
Let's solve some problems. Let's jump straight in with the problem of the tier lockdown system. They've just managed to pass it through the House of Commons, even though Labour abstained, which is just like standing back and watching a car crash happen. So that's been fun. Some of the interesting things have happened about where we're allowed to drink and when we're allowed to drink. For me, it's not really important because you, Eric, and everyone seems to be in tier 2 and I'm sat in tier 3, so thanks for that. But there are various rules to do with when you can and can't get a drink. One headline that's been pulling a lot of focus has been about what constitutes a substantial meal. Some pubs will only be able to sell alcohol if they have a substantial meal. Is a Scotch egg a substantial meal? It's quite the debate. And I can understand why the government in this is in a bit of a pickle, which actually would go really nice with that Scotch egg. They're in a tricky situation because if they say, yes, a Scotch egg is a substantial meal, it means pubs will start just selling a free Scotch egg with every pint. It'll go back to the same old, you'll still go out for a massive session, you'll still feel terrible the next day, but you'll end up having a conversation like this. Oh, wait for it.
I've got such a hangover. I think I overdid it on the Scotch.
What, whiskey?
No, eggs.
First joke I wrote today. It was an early start. So that's one side. But what about the other side? If the government go, no, don't be stupid, Scotch eggs are not a meal. Well, who's going to get upset then. The Westminster leader of the SNP in Blackford's bound to do one of the things where he says,
this blatant anti-Scottish rhetoric is another piece of evidence that shows we need independence.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
His mouth looks like Rudy Giuliani's head the other day. Melting.
That look. Special effects. Come on, that's worth putting some money in the pot. So I don't know, because as a stand-up comedian who's dined out at most of the UK's premier motorway services, the idea that anyone would say a Scotch egg isn't a meal came as a shock to me. What? Hey? What? I mean, if a Scotch egg isn't a substantial meal, why am I so fat? Think that way. Riddle me that, science, because I've been eating them and I've been gaining the weight. But then if you went out on a date or something, your partner said, no, come round to mine, I'll cook you a meal, and they just put a Scotch egg in front of you, you'd be like, oh, something's gone wrong here. But then flip side, if the rule is you're only allowed to serve alcohol if you serve a substantial meal, that means a lot of those poncy French restaurants need to just pull back on that wine, because you order £15 for a starter and it's like a quail fart. You're like, what? No wine for you. So I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if we'll ever find out whether a Scotch egg is a full meal or not. You put chips with it, it probably is. But while we're confused, we should feel better than people in Wales. And I know we often have some Welsh viewers. They're in an interesting situation where there's an alcohol ban for pubs can open,
What?
but they can't sell alcohol. I'll talk you through that again. Pubs can open, but they can't serve alcohol. I think
the saddest.
they've overestimated how much people care about dry roasted peanuts. Because why would you go down the pub just one more packet and you get to see what that woman on the cardboard looks like? No one's going down the pub for that. It is a bizarre situation. Now, people in the brewery industry have said it is effectively a stealth shutdown of pubs, but the Welsh people don't. The Welsh administration doesn't want to be blamed for banning alcohol, but that's effectively what you're doing. It just seems like the stupidest, like a pub without alcohol. It's like a nervous driving instructor. Technically, it can exist, but there is no point behind it. So, to find out more about this absolute mess of a situation, I'm joined by a minister from Wales.
Hello, Steve.
Hello. So, pub without alcohol, it's the stupidest idea ever.
Well, hold your horses there. You've not even heard the rest of our ideas.
All right, they might be worse. Tell me what you got.
After having pubs with no alcohol, we thought we'd open gentlemen's clubs with no light bulbs. So you can still go in, but you won't enjoy it. We want to open McDonald's, where they'll only be able to sell their salads. Yeah. And we will open Pizza Express, and they'll be allowed to sell everything on the menu.
Yeah.
Apart from the dough balls.
Fuck you.
Look, Steve, I know it's difficult to fathom the idea of a pub with no alcohol. It seems like an anathema. It seems like a devolved administration without a point-scoring prick.
You're making some good points. Thank you very much for joining me. So that is the situation that we find ourselves in. How do we solve that problem? I honestly don't know. I don't think abstaining particularly helps, but what an absolute mess of a lockdown we seem to be in.
Yeah, that was it. The Welsh. That was interesting. The Welshman. That was nice. That was a nice filter. It's less creepy. I mean, I don't know what else you've got in store for us, but based on the last few shows, that I don't feel like I need a shower now.
Yeah.
Now I know last Thursday, I think it was, we had a long discussion about baked beans. It was Tuesday or Thursday, and how I find them disgusting and repulsive, especially at breakfast. I'm also going to show my non-British colors once again by saying the Scotch eggs are pretty gross as well.
Really? But it's effectively a sausage sandwich. You've got sausage, you've got egg, and you've got bread crumbs. So,
but they're usually cold and dry when I've seen them served.
Cold? Do you not own a microwave, sir? Treat yourself.
I've been at somebody's house and they'd lay out the weird little bowls that are there, and that's a different party. I'm not supposed to talk about that party. Never mind. Scotch eggs are fine. Do you want to talk about the bowl party?
So I mean, I don't know whether it doesn't seem right.
Alcohol.
You what? Sorry.
A pub without alcohol.
Oh, absolute mess. Utah says, "Don't forget Slim Dusty, a pub with no beer." It's a song as well. Yeah, a pub with no beer. It is terrifying, isn't it? It's just utterly pointless.
Yeah, it's.
Because I thought they'd pulled a fast one in Scotland. Because when I was up there, you could drink, but outside in Scotland in October. So you couldn't stay there for more than 2 drinks. Otherwise, you'd freeze to death.
Yeah, that's Scotland.
At least you... Oh, by the way, Jack says, I'd rather have a quail's fart than a Scotch egg.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Be fancy like that. If you like that kind of fancy food.
Let's see here. We've got some hellos. People saying hello to us. People saying hello to each other, which is always nice. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
To bring you guys all together. Can we all say happy birthday to COVID-19?
Oh, happy COVID-19.
That special day.
Yeah.
Give them a Scotch egg. That'll put them right off.
1 year old today.
Here's a suggestion for you. Drive to a tier 2 if you're in your tier 3 to get a pint.
Do you know what, though? Honestly, whilst I've been researching stuff for this show, and research for this show, it might not show through in the final product, but shit face. And it turns out legally, you take your tier with you. So wherever you live, they're the rules that you stick to. So if you travel to a tier 1, if we all pile down to Cornwall, in theory, we should all behave in the way that we do in our home area.
Right. Okay.
So driving to tier 2 is not going to help.
Isn't there a song about you always take your tier with you, or is there something that you always take your heart with you, or
Utah will probably know. They're pretty good at messaging stuff for different songs.
I would want to say it's a Kenny G song, but then I would want to get a part of the show cut out in the replay. If you try and watch back last Thursday's show where I did a lovely tribute to Thanksgiving, I indulged and played a little bit of Kenny G, and the censors caught us on YouTube, so you cannot watch that anymore.
No. I mean, you can see it on Twitter and Facebook, but let's not mention that.
Let's not mention that. Let's see, what else have we got here?
Exquisite says, do you have to eat the food? That's the thing, because if not, then they'll just effectively hand you a Scotch egg, and then you just hand it back. It'll be handed on to someone else who's not going to eat it either.
That's going to just spread the virus.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Sal says, OXO cubes are a square meal. Nice. I like that.
That'd be tasty. Just get some hot water or a hot toddy. Have a hot toddy.
It's because it's square, Eric.
Oh.
You didn't get that, Joe, did you?
No.
Brilliant. Yeah.
OXO cubes, the stock cubes.
Square, yeah. That's why it's a square meal.
Yeah.
Because the cubes...
That's easier to hold on to than a Scotch egg because it's circular.
Yep. Yeah, Scotch eggs are not a square meal. They're definitely a spherical meal.
That solves the dilemma. It's not a square meal.
Yeah.
Give them one.
God.
It's not called an XOXO cube?
No. I think that's a song. And then Thomas says, much the same in much of Scotland. Is that what it is? That you can't have pubs selling alcohol? What
in
is
Scotland?
The flipping point?
Fuck's sake.
A pub without alcohol is like Scotland without alcohol. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not going to happen. What else have we got? Bathe in baked beans. What did I just see? Oh, that is really nasty. Someone says they bathe in baked beans.
Well, for charity, I imagine. That's normally when people do it. Chris says Scotch eggs are from Yorkshire. You live and learn. No. Shut the front door. Why did they call them Scotch eggs? Then again, I don't really believe that Scotch tape was invented. Everything else was invented by the Scottish, but I bet you Scotch tape and those video cassettes, Scotch ones, I bet they're not made there either.
Now you're showing your age. Thank you to Anthony, who's bought us a Ko-fi already. So very much for that. This is a good time for that when we're doing the chat and catching up on the conversations that you're sending us. You can always pop us a drink if you'd like to as well and support the show. We appreciate that. And we will spend all of the money we earn tonight on Scotch eggs.
Yes, well, hang on, steady. I'm saving it for something else. Stephen Leatherdale says maybe the Welsh pubs are counting on pork scratchings to get the punters in. Ooh, that's true. I do love a pork scratching. I like a nice doom pie, says Utah. I don't know what that is, but I'm scared that it's a sexual euphemism.
Yeah, where's that person watching?
YouTube. There's other stuff on there. Don't be on Twitch. People of Wales are going to start using drugs till the booze is back, says Exquisite Tenderness. Don't diss the Welsh people. They are my people.
How much? What percentage?
I'm a 16th Welsh.
It's gone up since we started this series.
Yeah.
Mark has said at a house party they watched one of their cats carefully slice open a Scotch egg, and carefully remove the meat. As he ate that small bit, our other cat came in and bit into the egg.
Wow. Oh, that's
sweet.
Beautiful.
That's very sweet. Cats and cats making love to each other.
How many packets of Walker's Squares count as a square meal? Says Brit. 1? It's a square. He's not going to get that joke.
I don't understand.
Right. Okay. You can keep the money rolling through if you would. That'd be very much appreciated as we try and fund this enterprise. But meanwhile, Mr. Eric McElroy.
Right. Here's a problem that we're going to have, Steve, a lot now that the Trump administration is coming to an end. And the problem is, how do you find any scandals once Biden is president? Because if we all remember, what was the biggest scandal of 8 years of Obama? That time he wore a tan suit. It was a catastrophe. It was horrific. There were investigations. Fox News lit up for days. It was outrageous. I mean, Biden by nature is sleepy. That's why he was called Sleepy Joe. So we know that things aren't going to be quite as sexy and as jazzed up as they have been over the last few years. And that's why this weekend we saw this headline, and it was such a big deal. A doctor says that Biden has a hairline fracture in his foot after slipping while playing with his dog, Major. This is going to be it. For the next 4 years, this is the biggest scandal that's actually happened, that will happen. So basically, but these things, he allegedly fell while he was playing with his dog, if you know what I mean. He's got a dog named Major. But it's mysterious. It's one of those secret, it's like when George W. Bush, allegedly choked eating a pretzel. You know what that means. Dick Cheney shot him in the face. But so thus far, since this has allegedly happened, this is all we have seen of Joe Biden. There he is. He's leaving the hospital. He's got a bit of a, watch that. Oh, he's got a bit of a limp. He's walking down. He's getting into the car. I thought, where have we seen a president or a president-elect walking along like that, where they've struggled a little bit? And then I remembered this. There he is. You see? Maybe Trump had been playing with his dog. And by that, I mean touching himself. That's proper reference. There it goes. So I thought, you know what? Joe Biden, he had his weird little awkward walk. I thought maybe we could fix it. So I redid it for him. He's president now. He gets a band everywhere he goes. Every time he leaves anywhere, especially the limp, it's happening.
Beautiful. Majestic.
So basically, now that anything happens, he's going to be the president. We have to know exactly what his health is. We have to know how he's doing. And so it's a requirement for the campaign to release a statement about the incident. And so they released a statement that I'd like to read to you now. If you can put it up on the screen, please. The statement said, immediate release. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. I missed his space.
Bark, do them all.
Bark, 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 bark. Basically, it's a statement from Major the dog saying, I wish to apologize to my adopted father and for a speedy recovery. I wish my dog, I've misspoken. I can't read, I'm a dog. Basically, he's claiming he did nothing wrong, and he expected that he'll be a very good boy. Very good boy, huh? Major? Very good boy for who exactly? Because how do we know what his intentions are? How do we know that's actually what he meant by that? I mean, do you speak dog?
No. Google Translate isn't.
Google Translate might say that, but Google's controlled by the man. So already this has become a big question. What did the dog know? When did the dog know it? What did the dog fetch? It's gone to Fox News, which we can see here.
And what does Anklegate reveal about how the media will cover old Joe? Raymond Arroyo explains it all.
That's right. Fox News was spending time discussing Anklegate over the weekend, and not the fact that the current sitting president is actively trying to undermine the democracy of the United States. Let's forget about that. Let's set that aside. What happened to Joe Biden's ankle and the dog? So you know what? I don't want to be one of those conspiracy theorists. I thought it's better just to speak to somebody in the dog community. So I reached out to our canine correspondent earlier today, and I came back with this report. Did you hear what happened to Vice President Joe Biden and his dog, Major? Do you know his dog? Okay. Does Major like to play with Joe? No, really? So, did Major hurt Joe on purpose? Does Major support Donald Trump? Did Major even write that press release? Wow. Shocking, Steve. Shocking revelations. And this is what we're going to get for the next 4 years.
Canine method. I can already see the best actor on this show, so it turns out to be neither of us. It's a flipping dog.
I thought Buddy did really well with that.
Yeah.
It's hard. He got a lot of treats. And then so did I.
And that's why we need money. Treats for Buddy.
Yep. Even if you don't like what we do, look at that dog. And he cost a fucking fortune. I got him before this happened. So there we go, Steve. Anklegate.
Well, it's, yeah. I mean,
It's a thing.
So which bone did he fracture?
It was a bone spur, which means he won't be able to go to Vietnam.
Right. Because
I
I think the big problem for me is going to be that if this were a metatarsal, one of the tarsal bones, whether it was the phalanx, it's not the goddamn ankle, it's a foot. He broke a bone in his foot, not the ankle.
Okay. I'm nodding like I understand what you're saying. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's the way Buddy nods.
You've got a lot in common. So that's got to be the thing that bothers me. Yeah, he barely broke a bone. It's ridiculous. It was interesting to see that clip again of Donald Trump walking down the ramp because he was just leading with one foot. He's got a problem with a leg, but he's got more problems than that.
He's got a lot of problems in that. Let's see. Should we look to the comments here?
Yep.
Anybody?
Anthony says, at least you can safely drive to the pub to see your friends and you may learn that you don't really like their company. That's the problem with having pubs without alcohol. What, you're going to have to get to know people and turn up with all of your sober inhibitions?
Nobody in Wales is ever going to get laid again. Let's see. I'm with Exquisite Tenderness. Bring back the mega cray cray. Yep, I'm there for you. What else have we got here? That poor fucking dog. Oh, which dog, Major? Not my dog. My dog's well looked after.
We probably should have had that no animals were harmed during the filming of this episode because YouTube will probably take this one down as well.
Oh, but I can't actually say that. You know how hard it was to. Never mind.
You're allowed to lie, I'm sure.
He's fine. He's fine.
On the issue of whether a Scotch egg is a meal or not, can we get the Scotch egg smoothie? That's it. Actually, that's a really good point. Slim Fast boasts that their milkshakes are meal replacements. So get yourself one sachet of Slim Fast and a pint, you're having a meal.
I was going to say put some gin in it.
Yeah, that works for me.
There we go. Oh, we've had a few more drinks come in. Thank you, Stephen. That's very nice of you. I've seen that one come through. Let's see. Trump has $420 million bill to pay. That'll be fun to watch. Yes.
Interesting.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
And Paul B says, don't worry, he also called him Creepy Joe. Well, he was certainly creeping. I like it.
Yeah,
get some good
Maybe
comments
he knew.
on the show.
Maybe Trump has been playing that 5-dimensional chess all along.
So that's where John Major went after his term as PM. Chris, that's what Chris said. Which one was that in response to?
Is he implying that my dog is John Major?
Maybe. Confused
Not
about
quite sure.
Because no one did a John Major impression, did they? And my Welsh guy did not look like John Major. Did he? Did he sound like
John
one?
Major Welsh?
No, that accent wasn't really
I
Welsh.
think I would have noticed that, but let's see.
Because it says, who cares about an old man's foot? It's not just any old man's foot. That is the foot in chief to be.
That's right. That's the man who stole the election from poor Donald Trump.
That's the man who's going to be in charge of what I believe they call the nuclear football. So if his feet aren't good...
Yeah, but we don't need to touch an American football with our feet.
That's the problem with my analogy.
As much.
I knew that.
That's possible. Sal's asked a real question here.
Yep.
What are the odds of Trump actually going to jail? 50-50? Depends.
Not a chance.
Not a chance?
Cover up. It'll be all... Imagine. So, how was the percentage of the population, of the vote that went to Trump? 47, 46, something like that? Still really high.
Yeah.
So, if that many people voted for someone and then he goes to jail, martyrdom kicks in, and then all of a sudden you've got almost half the nation who then think... And you know what Americans are like for thinking the government is against them. That's why they have their guns. You couldn't trigger that level of hysteria.
But we won't. He'll never admit he's gone to jail. He'll just be in a new, like winter White House, and we'll just do it up like the Oval Office, and they'll never know.
Okay.
Well, that's fine.
And let's be honest, the bars don't have to be too close together. He still wouldn't get... Let's put a ramp near it. He's not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah, they don't even have to put a wall. Although he'd probably like a wall.
And Chris says, Major the dog. John Major the dog. I get it now. Sorry, I'm being a bit slow. It's been a long week. It's only flipping Tuesday.
It's been a long year, and we're nearly at the end. Right, Steve. So if you send us a drink, thank you very much. The channel thing will come up again. You could subscribe. And problem number 3.
I need to deal with a very worrying problem about the Monolith in Utah. Now, we almost talked about this last week. Suddenly, some people discovered there's this massive monolith thing, this metal monolith in Utah, like a deserty area, and people said straight away, aliens, and I think they were right. And the thing is, the extra bit of the story is that it's now disappeared as well, but there's a little picture of the monolith that mysteriously was found and now mysteriously disappeared, and we can zoom in on the picture there. There it is. And my biggest complaint with that is that it's not a monolith.
What?
Everyone has been calling it the monolith. By God, it all winds me up. So let's get the definition of monolith for you. It comes from the Greek, mono meaning single, and lithos meaning stone. You can't have a metal monolith. If it's not made of stone, not a monolith.
Steel?
No, it's not. But steel is not stone.
Aluminum?
Has to be stone. There's no such thing as aluminum, illuminati. I don't know. It's a conspiracy. It's not a monolith. Anyway, so even if we're not calling it it's not a monolith because it's not made of stone, but we can actually get more of the description about what it was like. It was 10 foot tall, and it was made of metal sheets riveted together, so it's not even one. It's not a monolith. It's not even one, and it's not made of stone.
These are just words.
So, this monolith mysteriously appeared, and everyone went, yeah, I'll tell you, you got yourself some aliens. And then it mysteriously disappeared, and people went, aliens? And then another one's been found. An Arthur C. Clarke style monolith appears in Romania. Now that's nothing, because where I live here in zone in tier 3, there's a guy who's got a metal monolith in his front garden, and it's a bit different to that. It's white, it's tall, it's got doors on there, it's a fridge, and it's been in his front garden for a while. So aliens, I think that's what's happening. But it is a bit weird, all of this goings on. Is it aliens or is it not? To find out, I'm actually joined by an alien. Hello.
Hello, Earthling.
Oh, wow, an actual alien. It's such a pleasure to get to meet you.
Actually, we have met before, but we wiped your memory. And we had to wipe the probe a few times. Shower more, would you?
Anyway, let's talk about the monolith. What's going on with that?
Firstly, it's not a monolith. Only an idiot would call it that. And yes, it is ours.
Wow. How? Why? How?
We traveled across time and space to visit humankind. We landed in a desert and erected what you humans call the monolith, but what we call our hat stand.
Makes sense. Why did you leave it, though?
We saw a newspaper, and when we saw what was happening on Earth in 2020, with the plague, disease, lockdown, and Donald Trump, we thought, sod this for a game of billiards, and went home. We were in such a rush, we left it behind.
Checks out. Yeah, makes sense to me. Thank you very much for joining us, an alien. So, we solved that one.
Again, that's less creepy than the other stuff you've done. I mean, that should be creepy. But I'd like to have the alien back. There's some other questions I'd like to ask. Can we get the alien back on another time?
Not right now. I mean, it takes about an hour's worth of prep time for some reason to get the alien
to get the connection right.
Because it's a intergalactic message Zoom call. Yeah.
Yeah, how else would you talk to the alien, Steve?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I like the alien.
What's your take on the monolith?
These are words. Words have no meaning.
It's not a monolith. I mean, as soon as they started calling it that, I was like, I seem to remember as a teenager, for some reason, I remember looking up the word monolith. I didn't know what it meant, and learned, it's a big piece of stone. It's one piece of stone.
Are you one of those people that corrects others when they say podium, when it's not actually a podium? It's that's something else.
I think you're on a rostrum. I think if you look down, you're on a rostrum, you dickhead.
Because one of them is like podium, and then there's a... what is the other word? Like, it's not a podium if it has its own stand. I can't remember.
Rostrum. I've just said it out loud.
No one knows what it's called.
Okay. I don't know how the Zoom call works with an alien, but you can't hear what
it's not. Mark will know in the chat. It's the podium or pedestal. No, not pedestal. You look at the comments. I'm gonna find out.
Okay.
I'm gonna check this out.
Are you thinking there's an issue between standing at a lectern?
Maybe.
Because there's a lectern.
What's the word you used? I've never heard that
rostrum.
word. What the fuck is a restroom? I'm not talking about going to the bathroom.
No, you're talking about math. Right, into the comment section. Let's get this up here.
Pulpit. Podium versus pulpit. Maybe that's it.
Really? Pulpit?
I don't know.
It's lower, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never heard of a rostrum.
That's a different issue.
We don't say rostrum in America. I can tell you that right now. That sounds like a foreign word.
No, you don't. It does sound like a foreign word. It sounds vaguely Latin. Anyway, whereas podium. So, Exquisite says, he's still an old man where we are. Let's move away from some of the drop ones. Mark says, and in the same week, scientists discovered some monkeys who were using stone tools. #2001. It's not even futuristic anymore, though, is it? That's the problem.
That's not good.
Steve says, Mark says, Steve, that's where Boris Johnson goes at the weekend. Where's that?
I don't know what that's in reference to. We've got loads of that at the end of the side of the roads, says Exquisite.
Probably fridges.
Oh, yeah, fridges. There you go. There you go. Call the Monolith the Scotch egg, says Britt, as a description, and it will just get to feck with 2020.
Yeah, because it turns out a Scotch egg is not even from Scotland, and a monolith has to be one piece of stone.
Yeah. And we did get a mention earlier about 3M saying Scotch tape, which is what we call tape in America. That's, oh God, what's the clear tape here? Used to wrap
sellotape.
Sellotape. Yeah, we don't say
definitely
sellotape.
Earlier on, if we watch this back, mentioned Scotch tape before I said Scotch videos.
Oh, yeah, you did. But I was thinking of a different kind of tape.
I'm not paying any attention to this side of the screen today. Rostrum. No, there's another word.
But I'd never heard the word rostrum before today. I can honestly say that.
Right. Have you Googled it to see what it is? You do that.
Yeah.
I'll read out some more messages. Oh, Brit says plinth. Yes. Are we dealing with a plinth, a lectern, a rostrum, a parapet, a pulpit, and whatever the other one was? Let's have a look. Chris says aliens travel the universe, covering several billions light years, and use rivets. Yep, only in Utah.
Gotta love a rivet.
Yeah. A rostrum is a pulpit or similar used by speakers. A podium is a stand used by a conductor, etc., says Mark. There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, it is the kind of thing where someone says podium, and then you got to go, I think you're on a rostrum. And while you're on that rostrum, stop talking about a monolith. It's not a monolith.
But you can't hold them all together with Scotch tape.
Yeah. Never heard of it. So, and I've been watching so many YouTube videos recently about how to do YouTube videos, I've learned this phrase. If you're getting value from this show, click the like, although who cares about that stuff, and contribute here. So that's where you could chuck some money. If you're getting value from this show, that's one of the phrases they use.
Right. What if I'm getting value from the show because I'm learning new words?
Exactly.
Yeah. And what confused me, I did hear you say Scotch tape earlier, but it was Mark's reference to the 3M tape that made me. I was thinking of some sort of videotape but I realize now I got it wrong, and I understand what you were saying.
I don't know if that's cleared it up, but by talking about 3M, we're on to Post-it notes.
That's right. And we have spent a decent amount of the contributions that have been made to this show on some very fine Post-it notes.
Look at the colour.
So, and with Christmas coming, the color of my mug, we need some more Scotch tape.
Would you like to buy these Post-it notes?
Yep. Well, when we are
3M.
going to start doing a Patreon, and then we'll have like products that are available. So let us know what kind of products you'd like from the Comic Solving Problem team.
Not that sort of products. All right, dirty buggers.
Right.
Next problem. What you got for us?
It feels more like a Thursday than a Tuesday. Here's a problem, Steve. Is Trump tired of losing yet? He talked a lot about being tired of winning, but I think he's starting to, maybe he's losing a lot. Partly because we've had the recounts in Georgia had 3 recounts. He lost every single one. Wisconsin, he paid $3 million for a recount of 2 areas, lost that. He actually gained votes for Biden. And now the states are starting to do what they do, certify their elections, which means it makes the results official, and then it progresses from there. And this is what happened in Arizona yesterday.
The votes have been tabulated. All 15 counties have certified their results.
Yes, that is the governor of Arizona, a Republican, certifying officially that Donald Trump has lost that state. It's very difficult for him to overturn. Now things will move on as the rest of the states finish certifying to the 14th of December, when the Electoral College actually votes and Joe Biden becomes, one step closer to being president and sworn in on the 20th of January.
Very delicate step, though.
Yeah, it's very delicate. He's going to have the big boot on, and Major is definitely in the doghouse. But something very subtle happened when the governor signed that document to certify it. Listen here. If you couldn't hear that. That was the song Hail to the Chief, which is closely associated with the President of the United States, that was ringing just as the governor was about to sign the documents to officially certify the election. So it's kind of, what's the significance of that ringtone? That could just be his ringtone. There's a little bit more behind it, as we learned here.
I had to change the ringtone on my phone, and it rings Hail to the Chief because I didn't want to miss another phone call directly from the White House.
So just as he was about to sign the fact that Arizona, a conservative state signed by a conservative government, was about to say that Donald Trump had lost, Donald Trump was ringing and be like, sweetheart, I thought you would never not take my call. He was totally ghosting the President of the United States. It's incredible, right? So that's it. I mean, it's pretty much over. I mean, they can have their court cases. They can, even Attorney General, this was just breaking, Bill Barr has said there was no fraud in this election. If that's all happening, and if there's just no way for Trump to win anymore, why am I still getting daily emails from the Trump campaign? This was the one I got today, Steve. Eric, I emailed you. Oh. My sons, Don and Eric, both emailed you. Oh. Laura emailed you. Newt Gingrich emailed you. Mike Lindell emailed you. And nobody knew, I don't know who that is. Basically, your name is still missing. Sorry, Trump. You're starting to sound a little bit needy there. You have to think, why, when it's obvious that they're not winning anymore, that they can't win, why are they still sending daily emails like this? Like 4 or 5 a day, asking for money. It's basically what he's doing. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. And then this story was in the New York Times today. They've made $170 million since the election.
Wow.
Just over 3 weeks. 1 month, actually. Yeah, 1 month today, this week. $170 million. And most of that's gone to a special PAC, they call Political Action Committee, where the money doesn't have to even be spent on the recounts. It's just raking it in.
This is I feel like someone needs to make a version of The Producers where Donald Trump realizes, like, he is Max Bialystock. He's that character who realizes you can actually make more money if you lose at being president.
That's what he tried to do the first time, and he accidentally won. That's basically what happened. So listen.
Yeah, that's the end of The Producers, isn't it?
I have a message. I know I don't always, I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't always speak on behalf of Trump supporters. But listen, Trump supporters, I've got something that I want you to do. It's what we should all do. And it's this. Just don't take the call. You'll save yourself literally millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Wowzers. Well, do you know what? Don't send your money to Donald Trump. If only there was some other place that you could send money to help out 2 people who have very little work and for some reason are still doing these streaming shows after we started them in April, did we?
March? No. April. Yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, just saying.
You're supposed to say you enjoyed it, Steve. We love what we're doing.
Think about how many hours of content we've made now. No wonder YouTube gets upset at us.
This is Series 2, Episode 29. Oh. So, there we go. That doesn't even count all the special episodes we did in the summer.
Yeah,
I think. So there we go.
Some of those coming for Christmas
Don't give your money to Donald Trump. Give your money to where it really counts. Some people who will waste it, but tell you they're wasting it.
Yeah.
That's what
we're not going to waste it. What's the current goal on our Ko-fi? The first one was me buying a flat cap.
Flat cap hat.
I'm not bought it yet, but give me some time.
Yeah. You read some comments while I look up how our goal is doing.
Sal says rivets are the sound that frogs make. Nice. Oh, and then Mark comes along with a very similar thing. Rivets are the sound that frogs make when doing metalwork. I'm loving it. This is why we've got a message board. Certified tabulations. Nice. Says Chris. Donald Trump is the NFC East of politics when the best team is currently 4-7. Okay, I mean, you're talking sports. And as we all know, this is the show when it comes to sports.
We don't do sports. We don't even do rostrums.
No. I mean, we've got a sports section that's got its own jingle.
Sports.
Yep.
Sports. Sports. Sporty sports. Sports.
But we don't really like sport, so...
Well done. I was hoping you'd have that close to hand.
Yeah.
Steve, I've got breaking news for
Yep.
Comic Solving Problems. Our most recent goal, we have achieved our goal.
Oh, round of applause. I used to have fake applause on here, but I took it off.
I mean, to be fair, it was only 37 pounds, our goal. So I think I need to try a little harder. And that, Steve, that goal, we're at 105%. So we're over the goal, which means that we're going to just make up a new goal. So don't think that you
it's
give us money now. It's only 37 quid. Was to give us hope, Steve.
£37 is all it takes to give us hope.
And we have to split that. And we don't even get all that money because of the fees.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you got a little bit more hope?
I do. I feel like what we should do is end the show, not today, but we should we should film ourselves looking miserable and then have soft piano music with reverb, and a voiceover says, just £37 can give these people hope. Steve hasn't performed comedy in years, even though the lockdown only started this year. And things like that.
Yep. So thank you very much, everyone, for giving us hope. Now, please keep giving us.
Give us more hope.
Give us more hope.
Brit in the comment section, Brit says, thanks for helping us keep sane. I mean, I don't know if we can't even keep ourselves sane. But thank you for the comment. But
NFC East. I mean, that's an American football reference. Donald Trump is NFC, but I don't. Yeah. Can't.
Loving the Michael Burke impression, Steve says. Mark, my favourite Michael Burke was always 999, the TV show 999. So he's a newsreader, and oddly, technically, the character I do on the MASH report is made up of Hugh Edwards' posture, with the voice being 80% Michael Burke, a whiff of who was the other? I studied some Alistair Stewart before I went in as well. But I used to love watching. Do you ever watch 999, Eric?
No.
So it was this TV show. Narrated by Michael Burke, where they would see something goes wrong. It's like the start of Casualty. People would be doing stuff, and then all of a sudden a limb gets chopped off. But it's even worse than Casualty, and at some point the twist is somebody called the emergency services, and it would always be footage of just people minding their own business, and the voiceover would be, "It was an ordinary day with ordinary people, and then things got worse." And they're like, as soon as he says that, some shit's going down. And then someone would get wedged under a lorry, and eventually somebody called the emergency services. And God, that was TV.
Yep. I was trying to explain to my children the other day about how most shows used to basically be the same plot over and over again, like Murder, She Wrote. Every day. Do you have Murder, She Wrote here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day, this little old lady who wrote novels, someone would knock on her door in her tiny village, and somebody else would be killed. And then she would somehow find out how. And no one ever thought to leave the fucking village. How many people died over the 8 seasons of that show? Now stories have arcs and stuff like that, and whatever.
There was a whole week in between. So you'd forget what happened last week. You'd just, I'll watch it again. Nothing else to do.
Every show was Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
In fact, if you go on my SoundCloud, if you're really good at searching on Twitter, you can find the version of the Murder, She Wrote theme tune that I did. Which is, I put some lyrics to it. I was doing a thing on radio of putting lyrics to TV themes that don't have lyrics. And I can't remember all of it, but I remember it started out with a really jaunty, "This is a murder she wrote. And she wrote it down, and then she made a novel out of it."
Good times.
Good times. Used to do that for a
You
living.
used to get paid for your work. Yeah. Right. Anything else in the comment? We need to go.
Sal
here
says,
pretty
how
soon.
do you decide when one season stops and another one begins? We take a holiday. The only reason we reset it to Series 2.
So I guess 2021, is that going to be Series 3?
I think it is. Post-Christmas. Death in Paradise. How many people have died on that small Caribbean island over the last 10 years? Yep. Cordon it off. I mean, the death rate of that's worse than COVID.
Some places that you just don't want to go. Let's see. Britt says, if you win a house in Midsummer, don't go. Is that the name of the town?
Yeah. Do you know Midsummer Murders?
Oh, Midsummer Murders. Yeah. I never heard of it.
I've never been there myself.
I won a house there once.
Utah says UFOs have been seen in Gravesend. Well, they might as well bugger off because it's tier 3.
They can't now. They should stay there.
Nothing to do.
No, but they can't leave.
Yeah.
Spread the COVID.
Pop round here and probe me again. So I think we're as soon as an alien's involved,
Is that going to be the last note of the show? Don't probe me again. That's how we're going to end this one. And don't probe me again.
Remember, don't probe me
again.
again.
We'll be back on Thursday. Yes. So I think we've solved some problems.
Yeah,
The rostrum thing is gonna. But I'm gonna look one up. I'm gonna watch some videos about that. There must be some YouTube videos about the difference between the podium and the rostrum.
Yep. Well, I think
if not,
this is the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back on Thursday, but there is a caveat.
Yes.
Sorry to bring even more Latin into it, but there is a caveat about Thursday's show.
We may be starting slightly late because of something else that one of us is doing. So one of us is causing us to be a little bit late starting.
Even though that's definitely Eric, we're not going to say which one it is.
That's not.
Because it's not about finger pointing.
He pointed the wrong way. You're still pointing the wrong direction. We've done this for almost 60 shows, and you can't just point that way.
It's just weird that you're sat there when you're clearly there. How can you be able to?
You just have to remember, because I've got the door behind me, so I always remember to point towards the door, and then I know I'm pointing at you.
I could just move that on the monitor. I'm just going to move the pictures over
arrow
there.
Thing.
Yeah, just move the pictures over there.
Remember.
Yeah, so even though I'm still, in terms of plugging other stuff, I'm back to covering some Time FM stuff, which is just fun messing around on the radio, and then having to floor it down the M25 to get here for Tuesdays. Thursday, Eric might be. We don't know whether we're going to start potentially late, or I might just start without, and just have.
We haven't decided.
Yeah, and just
so.
Because let's be honest, I do spend an awful lot of my time talking to fictional characters that were me recorded earlier. So by the time I've got through all of those sketches. Oh,
you could do that.
Now I'm thinking I could take a screenshot of you. Let's have a picture of you with none of this crap on it. And I could animate your mouth like I did Ian Blackford. And I think we've got a show.
Does that mean I don't have to come anymore?
Yeah, but it'll be me doing your voice, which you'll hate because I'll take the piss.
Well, you could have me read words into like one of those sort of like a Siri sort of thing. Like I can just be like, pickles, aluminum.
Could you just say, that's hilarious, Steve, and you're absolutely right, Steve?
Don't be a twat.
Okay. I could have edited those right in, but never mind.
Right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching and watching us do some admin at the end there where we decide what we're going to do on Thursday. If you have you subscribed?
Get yourself subscribed to the YouTube channel.
And you can watch all the past shows there. Except you can't watch the Kenny G bit. YouTube has taken that away.
Magic.
Yeah, bastards. I knew Kenny G was a son of a bitch.
Too hot for YouTube. That's what we need to have, little logos that say that. Too hot for YouTube. Why? What did you do?
Censored.
Played
we
Kenny
were
G.
censored. We got to get on that. Got to talk to Constantine about that.
Yeah. Right. Thank you for all the messages and all the stuff. Have a good night. We'll see you Thursday for more of the same.
Thursday. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.